Hello, my name is Ruben Campion, student number X161243. With me, I have Umar Rafiq, student number X18142061. I also have Grigor Danutz, student number X16114515, and also Antonio Pena, student number X01417383. Today we will be presenting our application idea called Smart Doctor. We'll be going over some of the features of the application, how the database was designed. But before we do that, I would like to give a brief overview of the application. So the application idea was Umar Rafiq's. He came up with the idea that we should develop an application where paramedics can reduce the time that is spent when they're called to an emergency response by creating an application which will allow patients to store their medical history in one database, which is very easily accessible through fingerprint. We'll go into more detail later on, and my colleague Antonio Pena is going to go through some of the features of the registration. Well, I'll now pass you on to Umar Rafiq. That's going to be talking about the application structure, how we designed the database, and also the login page. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Umar Rafiq and my student number is X18142061, and I will be going through a quick demo of this application. As Ruben mentioned about the data structure and the login page, and I'll be quickly going through that. So first was the data structure. It was my first experience working with NoSQL. It was non-schema as it's NoSQL, so it was pretty hard to do modification, but at the end we came up with a solution. For every table, for every users, we're going to create different tables. As you can see on my screen, the doctors, there are 3 doctors here, and in hospital there's only 1 hospital, and the patients, there are few patients and a record. So what this means, the hospital here, the hospital table have all those hospitals which we will register. It's NoSQL, but on the other way we try to make it simple as possible as we can. As you can see on the doctors table, there's only doctors registered doctors are there. And after that, I'll be showing you a quick demo. For example, I'm in a registration page for the hospital. Here I'm gonna create a hospital. The hospital name's gonna be Umar Hospital, and the email address of the hospital. The program asked me for password and the confirmation of the password. And once I click register, what does happen here really at the back end? You can see here the hospital is added here in a hospital field. Here I can see the hospital email address is omar.rafiq132@gmail.com, and the hospital got his own unique ID, and that's the hospital name. Now I will be trying to log in with this email. Please verify your email first. A small pop-in message showed up. So what that means? It means the email is not verified. So we have to verify every person before it comes to our database. We don't want spam people around us. We want only verified users. So here I had open my Gmail account. Here's, you can see umar.rafiq132, non-reply. All I have to click this link. That's the project name and Smart Doctor. Your email has been verified. You can sign in now with your new account. We go back to the Smart Doctor. Welcome to Umar Hospital, where I shouldn't write the hospital because it's a method which in. So what exactly is happening here? It's taking me to the hospital which belongs to that email. For example, I have few others email. If I go back, I try to log in. So welcome to the Metro Hospital. If you see the change up there, a bit change. Before it was welcome to the Umar Hospital as it was the hospital name, and now it's welcome to the Metro Hospital. So whatever we save there, it's coming here. The whole purpose behind this is to redirect the users to their pages. Not, for example, one user can see everything. If we go back from here and I try to log in from another login. So before, if you see, it was the hospital and now it's showing Dr. John Smith. How it is possible? What is happening at the back end? It was one of the difficulty we had in the early stage of this when we were building this project. We have to separate all users to their accounts, like to their different dashboards, rather than having one. If you see on the hospital, they have their own dashboard, and on the doctors, they have their own dashboard. How it is working? Well, there is a method which called check user account. So it's in front of your screen. What exactly this method is doing? The method is taking the database reference from path hospitals. And it's taking a snapshot. Snapshot means it's capturing all the data which is within those fields or within that table. And then it open another activity which is called hospital page here. So what does this method do? On the other hand, it goes to, for example, it first is check hospital, goes through the email address, check if the user in hospital, and redirect that to the hospital page. Now, for example, we didn't find the user in the hospital. What's going to happen? Well, we have few other tables like doctors and patient. What does it do? Then there's another data reference, which is another table in Firebase called doctors. The path is doctors. So check for the doctors. If that user is within the table doctor, then it's gonna redirect that user to the doctor page, not to the hospital page. Same down there, patients, which are the regular users. If there is a person, I'm gonna show you the quick demo on the patient as well. If there's a patient and what this method do, it checks if the patient is in the table called patient, it checks and redirect to the patient page. Simple as that. And I'll be going log out. I'll be showing you a patient page as well. If I click, this is a patient page, a regular user page. So what this field is doing here, it's taking the data, whatever it is there, and redirecting the data based on the user, based on the users where they belongs. For example, if a user belong to hospital, if a user is hospital, they will redirect them to the hospital. And if a user is a doctor, they will take them to the doctor page. And if a user is a patient, they will take the users to the patient page. Antonio, he be going through the quick demo of the fingerprint and NFC, which we implemented in this project. Thanks very much.
Hi, my name is Antonio. I'm going to presenting the fingerprint. So this is the main page. By clicking here, we access to the login detail. There is entering the manual typing, and here is the fingerprint option. So we click enter. Here I'm going to use the emulator. So we touch here, and here we go. We insert the D for doctor, And we are logging in the hospital. Hi, Antonio here. Now I'm gonna presenting how the NFC works. So for now on this project, we're gonna use a LIP card, but the client here will have their own customized LIP NFC card with their own logo. So what we do, we first register a user here, a patient. So we log in as a doctor. We are here, okay, here in the doctor page, Dr. Smith. Here we're gonna add the patient. And here, this is the code that is written on the NFC card. Okay, here, so we register successful a patient. So we can see here on the database. Here you go, that is it. So this is the number. The NFC card number. So now I'm gonna show how to read from phone and how to retrieve data of the patient from NFC card. Okay, now we're gonna test how the NFC works. So we're gonna scan it. Then we're gonna retrieve the code and check on the Firebase to who doesn't belong. So we got here the first name, Antonio Penna. It's my name and doctor name and hospital name.
Hi, my name is Grigor Danut, and my role in this team project was to design the registering pages for hospital patients, doctors, and medical records for the patients, and also to store data in the Firebase database and to retrieve data from the Firebase database and to display data on the list view or text view or edit text depend of the requirements to manipulate that data by the user. To show what the application is working, first time I will start to add a new hospital. So you see here in the database, it's one hospital called Mater. So I will add another one. So the system is checked if the Unicode start with H, doesn't matter, it's capital letter, low letter, will be drive me to register hospital. H. Okay, so I have error here. So the systems tell me this email address was already used before by another user to open account. So I can't use this one. I can't use this email to add another user. I have to use a different email for this one. This avoid to be register two users for the same email address. So I have to change the email address. I put a new one. Now, so I have successful registered this one. See here, I have another hospital. So the data was added to Firebase database, and it's stored in the Firebase database. Okay. So I will show how it works if I want to add another doctor. So the same thing, if the first letter from the Unicode start with D, is drive me to the page to add a doctor. Okay. When I add the doctor, I have to the hospital, so I will add this one to the last hospital I add to database, which is Jervis Hospital. I have here another doctor called Anthony Clark. This is what was added to the Jervis Hospital. If I'm logging for the user which already in the database, so first time I use login as the user as a hospital. So this is the hospital page. So the hospital page, the hospital can see the patient list. This is the patient list belong to this hospital, and the doctor list belong to this hospital. One of the patient lists is very important here because the doctor can see only the owned patient belongs to that doctor, and the hospital can see all the patient belongs to all the doctors for that hospital. Okay, so I can add a doctor from this page. Okay, which we add the doctor from this page to the Mater Hospital, or I can add a doctor from outside, which I showed before, which check Unicode. Doctor's page. So she said, Dr. John Schmidt, because I'm logging here, use the email with John Schmidt was used when he opened his account. So the email, the page, Dr. Page will let me to add a new patient to do to see the patient list. So if I I can see the patient list. So I have the 3 patients in Emma Young, Mario Vespucci, and Emily Nolan. Go back to the doctor, and it's led me to add a medical record to this patient, and I can see the medical records list. I have to choose the patient for that. So let's do from here, because the application was created to, the doctor will add the patient, and I give to the patient the email address and the password, and in the patient page, the patient will be able to change the the password and put the own password to access his account. So I'm back here to the doctor page, a doctor called John Schmidt. So in the doctor page, I can add a patient, but I showed that before, and I can see the patient list. So this doctor has 4 patients, Emma Young, Mario Vespucci, that, back to the doctor. I can add a medical record. Okay, I have to select the patient, and I can check the medical record list. So check the medical record to see which patient does have already a medical record. So here, Emma Young has a medical record, Mario Vespucci has a medical record, and okay. Emily Nolan, she doesn't have to add a medical record to the Emily Nolan. Okay, so if we go back to the add medical record, I'll choose the patient Emily Nolan. And I add a medical record. It's female, and date of birth will be 23 of September 1978. The PPS number will be 2345686, and letter is T. Address will be 23 Dogan Road, and you will save this record. Yeah. Okay, we'll check now if the record was added. So in the database on the record page, we'll have here a record for Emily Nolan. So I will check here the medical record list. So there we go to Emily Nolan. Yeah, she has a medical record. One more thing here, if the doctor wants to delete a medical record for any reason, he can do that. So if I click click, the medical record says, okay, press the long click to do show more action, and I press the long click, will be display a delete option. When I click the delete option, he asks me if it's yes, if I do yes. So if I click yes, so one medical record will delete from here, and if I go back, see that, back to the medical record list, the medical record list, if I go to Emily Nolan, she doesn't have a record, so that one. Another thing I said that I will display on the edit text, or the text used here, if the doctor wants to change back to the doctor called John Schmidt. Okay, so if I want to add something or edit something on his details, so here's the page, doctor details. So if I see here, the doctor Unicode is 569. If I do this, if I change it to 8, and see if it's that, so here is 9, and you save that to be, this was 8, okay? So it's send me back to login page, but I don't do that because I covered that for the patient. I'm logging as a patient, so I use that, the nutgrigor at yahoo.com. So password is security. I think I put some email address, the wrong password. I put the wrong password. Yeah, so the patient Emma Young. So if the password before was QWERTY and so this is all the details for the Emma Young. So it's displayed on the text view. The patient cannot do anything for this one, just tell the doctor. So if I want to change the password for the Emma Young, so I just click this one, and then the new password starts before as QWERTY, the Q. So new one is the put that Dublin 2018, okay? Okay, change the password. Okay, so the password will be changed. I try to log in again. The not Grigor at yahoo.com, and I put the 30U, the old one, and cannot do that, so I put the new one, Dublin 2018, and I see I can log in now with the new email address, so that's work. The email, with the new email address password, or the password was changed. I saw the medical record. One more thing here, it's when when you just log out. Okay, when the user has to log in, if the case the user forgot a password, so they put the email address danut.grigor gmail.com. So if you forgot the password, is the option here, forgot the password. So the system will send an option to the email address. I put the email address, danut.grigor@gmail.com. So I will send me the link to let me to change the password for this email. So we set the password. Yeah, the password is sent. If I go to my email, okay, I will get a link here to change the password. So yeah, okay. So I put a new password, for example, I will see the old one, 2000, okay, or 2018, and we save this one. I will try now to log in, use this password, the not.grigor@gmail.com. This Grigor 2018, and I see, yeah. So this email address is used by the hospital user. So it's this is work. So they send me to the hospital. Again, can see the hospital list. I can see the patient list. Okay, belong to all the doctors and the doctor list. So 3 doctors here. Thanks very much for listening. That's all for this application.
Thank you for joining us in our presentation of Smart Doctor. I hope everything was understandable, and if there are any other questions, feel free to email us through our student emails, X16, which is our student numbers, and then obviously at student.ncirl.ie. Thank you so much for joining in our presentation. Hope you have a great Christmas. Merry Christmas.